Hi, my name is Emily or La Movie Mija. I'm a part-time filmmaker, full-time movie lover, and I went to an advanced screening of Longlegs, so let's talk about it. This was my first time getting invited to an advanced screening of something like this, and it was at the Vista Theater, which is just gorgeous. The whole experience was so exquisite. As a movie lover, as a fan of horror, getting to see Longlegs on 35mm was a blessing and a curse, because not only did I get freaked out by this film in the movie theater going by myself, but I got to get freaked out on 35mm. I think that first 5 minutes of the movie were probably some of the most terrifying things I've seen committed to film in a while. And they sent me home with a signed poster from the film. It is way too creepy to hang up anywhere in my house. Now that I've watched the movie, I don't know where I'm gonna actually put this. So if you have any thoughts of how to store a poster that could be haunted, let me know. We were not allowed to play the Ouija board in my house, okay? So I don't even know how to deal with this poster right now. I think it brought the spirits with it, and that's just not welcome in my home. In this video, I'll be giving my general thoughts about the film with no specific spoilers, but the less you know about this one, the better. Now, I hadn't heard a whole lot about Longlegs going into the film. I did hear that it was rather scary, but I personally like to avoid all kinds of trailers before a movie. If I've already decided that I want to watch it, do not show me the trailer. The less I know, the better. I did know that this was written and directed by Oz Perkins. Yes, the guy from Legally Blonde. I haven't seen his other horror work, but now after watching Longlegs, I'm very intrigued because the way he's able to create myth and play with this idea of creating a whole new boogeyman in Longlegs, I was just completely blown away. The film follows FBI agent Lee Harker, as played by Maika Monroe, who was assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. Now that setup doesn't sound wholly original, but what Longlegs achieves with the characters that they achieve it with feels so fresh and is so frightening. There's something really special about the mythos of Longlegs because not only are they creating this cat and mouse serial killer FBI agent chase, they're also able to create a wholly original boogeyman, like with its own lore baked into it. They don't over explain things to you, but there's just enough for you to start imagining how creepy this can get. Some of my horror movie icks are when a movie just doesn't deliver in the third act or it's afraid to go to the next level. This movie doesn't have that problem. Maika Monroe is excellent. I've loved her since It Follows. She's part of this new era of horror films, and I think what she does with this character is just so special. The way that this FBI agent feels just so lived in and real, and she has these quirks and mannerisms that don't ever need to be fully explained, but they never prevent her from doing her job, which I think is really special and makes this character wholly unique. And I think this film is going to invite a lot of comparisons to Silence of the Lambs, and I think they're well aware of that. Please forgive me, I have to admit I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs.
I
know, I'm a fake movie fan, but it's on my watch list, trust me. And I especially want to watch it now after watching this, knowing that they had the language of Silence of the Lambs making this film. I think any movie with Nicolas Cage is just unafraid to be a little unhinged and doesn't take itself too seriously, but not in a bad way. Like, people hear that and they think, oh, this movie must be silly, goofy, must be off the rails. It is all those things. There are some laugh out loud moments in this film that really caught me off guard, but you know what humor is really good in a horror movie for? Disarming you. If you can be disarmed and just laugh a little bit and there's that tension relief, it operates similar to a jump scare in that, haha, and you have like this release of a moment. In that release, you become more vulnerable. And I think Oz Perkins understands that well. He's good. He's really good. When I say this movie doesn't take itself too seriously, it literally doesn't. There are those comedic elements, but it also isn't afraid to get a little into the camp era without fooling crossing over to the zany. The main characters feel grounded enough to keep you on the edge of your toes, to keep you primed for the danger and the horror that comes your way. But there's just a little something off about the world that they build in general. And that's not just in the characters and in the story, but in also the cinematography and the lenses. There's some like just wide enough angled lenses and the angles that we are framing our subjects that make you feel uncomfortable, but not in an uneasy way or unappeasing way. I thought this film was actually really beautifully shot. The cinematography was gorgeous, so much so that it kind of lulls you into a sense of safety because it's just so pretty to look at. And then that's when your guard's down. You're laughing, you're looking at the pretty images, and it gets you. The score for this film is also really wonderful. It adds to that air of dread, and there are some like little jingles that are sung throughout the movie. I hate that they are so catchy because they're playing in my head right now. And they're not like the good like gum commercial kind. The film overall is meticulously directed, and I feel like it does very well to build that tension and uneasiness that sometimes that's all people want when going to watch a horror movie is like, put me on edge, give me a little fright. And this movie, just from the get, you are uneasy and there's never a moment of safety. You think you'll find that safety in those laughing moments, in the humor that they're not afraid to explore or play with. But again, the cinematography, the score, the tension is just kind of building around this world, and it was really fun to experience. Sometimes I'll watch a movie that fills me with so much dread that I don't want to rewatch it. I don't want to experience it again. Hereditary. That movie is hard to rewatch, okay? I love it, but I can't rewatch it. This movie, I think, would be a lot of fun to rewatch. I think it has so much to like pick at and unravel. In the mystery itself, there's a lot of things that I wish I could have just like taken a photo of so I can like parse through the clues on the screen. I feel like this movie did a really good job steering us through a direction that was really easy to follow, and it confidently sticks the landing. I know that sometimes in a murder mystery thriller, like all the tension is leading up to like who, how, where, getting those questions answered. And once you have them answered or you figure it out, all the tension is released. But I feel like the mythos that they build within Longlegs, there's no respite in finding out who, where, and when. When you find out who, where, and when, I feel like the dread just kicks in even more. And so by the time the movie's over, you're just leaving feeling terribly, but in a great way. All in all, I highly recommend this film for horror movie fans, mystery thriller fans. It's not too gory, so I don't think that anybody who has an aversion to gore and violence will suffer watching this movie. But that's not to say that this film is not completely terrifying, because it really is. I cannot wait for horror fans to devour Longlegs. It is such a feast of artistry, tension building, world building, mythos, and absolute terror. Anybody who goes and sees it is just gonna have a rollicking good time and a lot to talk about after. Let me know if you'll be checking out Longlegs for yourself, and if you have a favorite Nicolas Cage film, please let me know in the comments below. Bye!